Hey everyone, welcome back to the Online Pastry Course YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about colourings. And a common mistake I see all the time is people mixing up fat soluble and water soluble colourings. They're not the same. That's really important to remember. Not the same. Fat soluble colours won't dissolve in mixes with a high water content. So it will just clump into little specks. So you get loads of little colour dots and not the colour that you want. Water-based are the same, just the other way around. So if you try and put water-soluble colour into chocolate, for example, you'll get the same effects, just little specks of colour and no kind of coloration in the mix. So, you know, how do you tell which one is which? Well, it says it on the label sometimes, so it's super simple. But there are a lot of them you can buy in the shops that don't specify. So I'm going to go through the 6 main ones, and then you can know kind of by looking at it, you know, what you can use it for. So the first one is water-based. So these are the ones you get in the supermarket. They're really like, you know, water-like bits of colour. Yeah, it's basically just a bit of water with colouring in it. I would generally just stay away from these at all costs. If you're trying to colour sponge, then you have to add so much to it that you just ruin the recipe anyway. But if you do use them, they're water-soluble, so don't use them for chocolate. But generally, I'll just avoid them anyway. There is one good thing these are really good for though. That's one good thing they're good for is the bin. So if you're going to use it, that's the perfect application for these. Number 2 is what we call liquid gel. So liquid gel are kind of thicker colourings where they use corn syrup to make it into a paste. They're much better than the water colourings, but you're still adding water into a mix if you don't need it. So I would shy away from those. You know, I'd rather use it over the liquid colourings, but I would kind of shy away from them in general. And yeah, they're not really concentrated enough to use in cakes and sponges because you're still adding loads of water to the mix and it's going to ruin the recipe. So, you know, again, these are water-based, so keep them away from chocolate and high fat content mixes because, you know, you're just gonna seize up your chocolate. Number 3 is gel colouring. So gel colourings are a bit better. So they're kind of highly concentrated gels that have as little water as possible in them. So they're still liquid, but there's like as little water as possible. And you can add them to sponges and cakes without altering the recipe. So make sure that if you use these, you put a little bit on a toothpick and just add it a little drop at a time, because they're so concentrated that sometimes it can really it can turn something bright green, or so for example, and then it will just be a bit like, oh god, I've added too much, you have to start again. So that is the gel colourings. And then the next one is a powder colouring. So these are the best in my opinion. So they're brilliant because you can actually weigh out how much you need, dissolve it directly into the liquid you're using for the recipe, and it doesn't add any extra water or ingredients to the mix. So you know that everything is always going to be exactly the same, which is perfect. These ones should have on the label whether they're water or fat soluble. With the fat soluble ones, you just need to dissolve it in a bit of cocoa butter instead of water and add it to the chocolate using a hand blender, and then you'll get the colour you need. And obviously it's quite consistent because you get to weigh out the powder, so they're my favourite. Number 5 is a slightly different one. So these are natural colouring powders. So these are made from like plant chlorophyll or turmeric. You know, you can buy them in fat or water based. However, you know, they try and use them for low heat stuff. You know, if you use it for bread and things, the heat will dull out the colour. So, you know, be careful what you use them for. And the last one really is cocoa butter colouring. So that's effectively just lots of cocoa butter with the colouring already pre-dissolved in the mix. However, the problem is that, you know, if you want to add more colouring, you then have to add more cocoa butter too, which makes the mix thinner. So if you want a really dark colour, I would always use the powder colourings that are just dissolved in a small amount of cocoa butter, and you can control then the amount that you're going to put in. So that's perfect. So that's it really. So those are the main chocolate and fat soluble ones. So you guys don't get them mixed up again and don't end up with seized chocolate or just really, really bad sponges. If you want to check out some recipes, we're going to be using different kinds of colourings and gels, then just check out the link below to go to the online pastry school, and you'll be able to see lots of video lessons over there as well. So subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you soon.